Hey guys, what's up, everybody out there? Welcome back to Bitcoin and Markets. Ansel Lindner here. Just wanted to go over yesterday's blog post. Make sure you guys are subscribed over there on bitcoinandmarkets.com so you can get these in your inbox and you don't have to wait for the video. But I try to get these out ASAP afterwards. That's my workflow right now. But here we go. Bitcoin short squeeze incoming. Let's go into this. Negative funding, 80K liquidations, and Gamma could ignite a breakout. Before we get deeper, guys, like, comment, subscribe, join the community. You can find a link to the Telegram that is in the description as well. All right. So, funding rates. I started seeing some tweets yesterday. This one is by Checkmate, and he said, the bears absolutely hate this rally. I don't believe we've ever seen anything quite like it in Bitcoin history. And for some reason, this image is really small. All right, guys. So I'm not sure why that was coming through small. This is the actual size of this image. And as you can see here, we have the Bitcoin price up top, and then we have the funding rate down below. And he was talking about the funding rate, the premium, and where we are in the chart. So as you can see, the funding rate over here is really spiking downward. And we usually see that in a major sell-off. So we go all the way back here to COVID to see a premium that's higher than it was yesterday or earlier this week. And that was obviously a major sell-off, huge bottom signal of this negative premium here on the perpetual futures. And he's pointing to that and saying, look, we're not at a bottom. We're not even selling off. I don't know if we've seen anything like that in Bitcoin history. He was talking about funding rates, implying that Bitcoin is rallying, yet bearish sentiment is increasing. For those unfamiliar, funding rates are the periodic payments, typically every 8 hours, exchanged between longs and shorts in perpetual futures to keep price aligned with spot. Now, perpetual futures, this was an invention of the Bitcoin space. Usually futures are weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly in length. These are contracts, that you have delivery in the future. But a perpetual future is something that Bitcoin came up with, and these are just a position that you can hold open for an extended period of time, and they just roll over every 8 hours. Now, every 8 hours, then you are assessed a periodic payment to keep the price aligned with spot. The larger the rate, the greater the imbalance, and the more expensive it is to hold that side. If sentiment is bullish, you will have more people wanting to go long. And so you have to incentivize the shorts and disincentivize the longs. So you make the longs pay a small percentage every 8 hours to the shorts. So you're paying the other side to take the other side of the bet for you. Now, when the sentiment is bearish, the opposite happens. Everybody wants to short. And so you make the shorts pay the longs to take the other side. And that's what keeps the price relatively stable there, aligned with spot. As you can see above, this is the most expensive shorting has been since the COVID crash. That means sentiment is really bad and people are making new bets against the breakout. Or two, people are adding money to underwater positions to avoid a margin call and liquidation. So sentiment, new people coming in, that's kind of what I think, was alluding to, Checkmatey, that bears absolutely hate this rally and people are continuing to open up new shorts. But I think it's more that they are underwater and they're trying to avoid a margin call. And so they're adding shorts. They're adding actual open interest to their bets to hopefully stem the tide of a margin call. And that's what they're doing. It's increasing the risk for them dramatically. And we'll take a look at some of the other charts. I lean towards the latter, not so much a hated rally, more like doubling down on existing positions. Liquidation levels. There is a significant liquidation level just above the price at 79,650. And you can see that's over here. Price was coming up yesterday, 78,079, touching 79,650 was this big liquidation level. It was something like 500 million on Binance. I think that's what it was. We're about to get liquidated. And then the next liquidation level was not, all the way up here at 100K. So this is a big gap here in these liquidation levels, but there is that one at 79,650. I had to switch data sources. Okay, CoinGlass, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it confirms that shorts are facing a big liquidation level around 80,000. They're getting squeezed tight. Could happen today or at least this week. Um, not yesterday, not today, maybe Friday. We do have the expirations going on Friday, but we will see if this squeeze really gets turned into a rally here over the next couple days. If it doesn't happen by Friday, the weekends are very ho hum, very non volatile, and so we probably won't see any movement over the weekend. We'll have to wait till next week to see a conclusion of this. Do we break the 80K and start making some sort of rally, or do we turn back down and go back towards 75, 72? We'll have to wait and see. There isn't much on the chart until 98,000 above, so price should travel quickly once it breaks that. I still think Bitcoin is going to surprise us when it happens and move pretty quickly. So here is this resistance. I didn't talk much about it, but right up here is um, around 85, 90, 100 further up. So there's a lot of open space above in this chart. Okay, options market. A quick update on the options market. Disclaimer, I'm no market options expert. Okay, but I do follow several quants, several big accounts, guys that I trust. And so I do like the information that they give. And this there is basic information out there. It's just a matter of being able to interpret that information, right? So the overall positioning in the options market right now is bullish. On Deribit, there are 257,000 call contracts versus 185,000 put contracts. So these are guys bullish versus bearish. You can see that divide. The gamma regime is positive in this range. So I've talked about this before. When you have a positive gamma regime, that means the bids, the order book is stacked to minimize volatility. You buy the dips and you sell any rips. You keep that volatility as low as possible. Okay. And that is what's occurring between 75 and 80K, meaning volatility is being dampened. However, it flips negative or short above and below those levels. So if we do break 80, then it's going to switch the regime to being short. And that means they amplify volatility. They're going to be buying the rips and selling the dips. That's how we get the big dips. If we break down below a certain level, then the price continues to fall. That will happen to the upside as well. Just wait. It's just a matter of when we turn bullish. This will happen to the upside as well. 80,000 is highlighted as a major gamma wall. Breaking above it would force dealers to buy a lot of BTC to rehedge. End of month expiration is happening this Friday with approximately 8 billion in contracts. Max Pain is down at 71K. I don't think we're going to get down to 71K. We'll take a look at the live chart here in just a second. In summary, there is bullish bias in the options market, with 80K being an important level moving into the end of the week. If price can close above that, there is a potential feedback loop with options gamma squeeze meeting a perps short squeeze. All right, so that's kind of exciting if we can get there, but we'll have to see if we do. Let's take a quick look at the chart. And we see Bitcoin here, 77.7 right now, 777. Down on the day slightly after yesterday, getting all the way up. What was the high yesterday? 79.5. So almost touched 80,000. And that 79,650 level where on Binance, where all of those shorts were going to get liquidated, they barely made it. They were rescued at the last minute with the price coming back down slightly, survive another day. Max Pain down here, 71.5. That is right around where the 50-day moving average is. So that is not like crazy that could happen. Probably won't happen by the end of the week. We would have to see a major, major sell off tomorrow. But I think the bias is higher. The bias is higher right now, guys. And are we at a bottom? I don't know. I think the sentiment still is tipping towards being bearish here. And we will see. Bitcoin needs to prove itself, even though we were at an all time high just back in October, 6, 7 months ago. Oh gosh, 6, 7. But it's been relentlessly down. There has been no back and forth. There's been this one breakout towards the beginning of the year that hit that 100-day moving average and turned over, and it has just been very, very bearish. This is giving some people a little bit of um, a little bit of bullishness, but we still have a significant amount of people out there that do think that this is going back down to 60K, 60K, even 40K, all the way down here. I don't think that's going to happen. That I put that at a 5% chance. I put it at a 75% chance that we actually are going to test these levels up here, 85, and hopefully get above that if we can start squeezing in the options market and in the perps market. So, all right, that's going to be it for today, guys. Make sure you're subscribed at bitcoinandmarkets.com. Follow me on Twitter at Ansel Lindner. Check out the Telegram link to that in the description. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.